Hey y'all, I hope you're doing well today. Just wanted to hop on here real quick. This is week 3 of the Homestead vlogs. So I know I said I was going to do a second video last week, and I actually did record a second video last week, but I never got it uploaded, and it needed a little bit of editing, and I'm still a little shaky at that. So I did not upload it and edit it, or edit it and upload it, whatever order it goes in. So sorry about that, but I will kind of include some of the things that I included in that video this week, so that you guys will know what's going on. Just jumping out here, pick up our mail on this absolutely gorgeous day. Now, the last time that I talked to you guys, the weather was beautiful. We had had several warm days in a row. It had a little bit of rain, but yeah, everything was looking good. And the grass, even now, the grass is just beautiful, lush green color, growing like a weed. Not really a weed, but growing as fast as grass can grow. And then all the daffodils are coming up, popping up all over the place, just making everything beautiful. If you can hear in the background, the birds are singing. Everything's coming to life. Spring is springing, even though we really are only mid-March still. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. So wanted to give you guys an update on the tower and see how that's going. The last couple of nights, it's actually gotten freezing or below. I think Tuesday morning it was 31 degrees, and then this morning, today is Wednesday the 15th, this morning it was like 29, somewhere around there. So last night, before I went to bed, I actually put a cover on. I just draped a sheet over it so that it would protect everything. I have actually already been picking a few little leaves here and there, so you can see this little lettuce. I've been kind of snacking on that. The Swiss chard, I've kind of been snacking on that as well. It's just nothing's really like great big huge producing yet. A few more weeks and everything will be, but I'm already starting to get some stuff. We're starting to get some peas. These are the sugar snap peas. We're starting to get some peas coming up. So so it won't be long before we have peas. And then in a minute I'll take you downstairs and show you, I think that is the pak choi. I think that's what that is. I did not label like I should have. So I sowed a bunch of seeds, filled up the tower garden. With the cold weather, I just went ahead and covered it last night just so that it wouldn't get frostbitten. I do still have the tank heater in the tower garden, so that the tank heater will help keep the water warm, and the water running over the roots will be warm, so that it can only keep up so much when the outside temperature is that cold. It can only heat it up so much. It can't keep it like super duper warm. It's not like bath water warm or anything like that, but it can keep it at least above freezing, so that as the water goes through the tower and goes over the roots of those plants, it's not gonna actually freeze the plants. But then I wanted to make sure that even though the humidity is actually pretty low right now, I wanted to make sure that the leaves were covered so the leaves didn't get frostbitten with it being below 30 degrees. So I'll probably do that again tonight. I think the next couple of nights we're supposed to have below freezing temperatures for a couple hours in the mornings. And then starting next week, it's going to be back to normal temperatures again. I do know that most years, right around Easter, we go back down to freezing again. Almost every year for the last 10 years that I can remember, Easter Sunday has been in the 30s early in the morning. 30s or very low 40s. So, and that's why I haven't gone to sunrise Easter Mass in a decade or more. It's just too cold. I'm one of those, I quote Jess from Roots and Refuge Farm, I'm a frost tender flower. I really am. It's just, I can't handle the chill. So I'm going to turn the camera around again. Something else we've been working on. So can't remember if I mentioned it in the last video. I had mentioned it in the follow-up video. I know for sure that I started radishes. So I started those seeds. Those are cold hardy seeds. They're cold, radishes, beets, things like that. They are cold hardy. I didn't really cover them up. I didn't really worry about it. But those should be ready to harvest in another week or two probably. They don't get a ton of sun up here, but that's fine. They don't need full sun. And this weather is actually perfect for them. So yeah, I should be getting radishes from those pretty soon. And I did put seeds in a couple of our other pots. I'll take you downstairs. I started some seeds for the tower garden. I also planted some okra seeds. I'm really hoping to get some good okra this year. We got good okra a couple of years ago. When I lived here before, we got some pretty good okra in that front bed up there, up along the front of the driveway facing we actually did get a pretty good okra harvest with stuff being in that bed. So I may try to do that again. I may even try to just grow it in pots and see if I get anything. Don't need a ton of okra, but in order to get a decent amount of okra, you really need several plants to be able to get a decent amount. So that is that plan. And I'll take you downstairs here in just a second to show you what's growing downstairs. So I'll see if we can do this without the dogs making too much noise. They're always very excited whenever I come down. They're ready to go outside. I know, I hear you. They're ready to go out. So let me just let them out real quick. There's Jenny. Jenny doesn't get tangled up too much in the roughhousing that Major and Hattie get into. Would you believe this guy is going to be 13 this year? He's an old man, and yet he acts like a puppy. So I'm going to let them out. There you go. Absolutely gorgeous day. Look at that, guys. Look at that view out there. I mean, we can actually see the water with the leaves gone off the trees. We can see the water. It's just beautiful. And I'm not going to leave them out here too long because I did put some chicken litter, and actually Hattie's getting into it. So, yeah, there she goes. She doesn't like to be out here for very long by herself. But let me take you guys inside. I'm going to take you in real quick and show you what I'm growing inside. And then I'll show you a few more things that we're growing outside. So inside, we have one window in this room. One set of windows right there. And I actually have little seedlings popping up in the rock wool. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's peas. They haven't really started yet, but they take a little while sometimes. But that one, can you see the little sprouts? Can you see them? So that one's doing a lot better. And unfortunately, I had dropped this after I put the seeds in. So I did know what order everything was in. I did peppers and tomatoes both. And I knew what order everything was in, and then I dropped it and fell on the ground, and I had to pick it up, and now I have absolutely no idea. So I won't know until they start to get their first true leaves, and even then, after that, it may be a few more weeks before I can tell what each plant is. Obviously, once they're several weeks, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks old, it's a lot easier to tell what each seedling is, especially the difference between peppers and tomatoes. It's a lot easier once once they're a little bit older. When they're seedlings, a lot of times it's hard to tell, but it's easier to tell beans and peas and things like that when they're seedlings, because they're usually kind of long and lanky and leggy, and it's usually easier to see what they are. But then once, you know, with tomatoes and peppers, it's not as easy. So I don't have any yet from these, but I set these up on the wall yesterday. These are the okra. The okra have not started to come up yet. They're in this one. And then I think I have something in this pot, but I don't remember what I planted in this pot. At this point, guys, flying by the seat of my pants, and I am throwing seeds in soil and seeing what comes up and what happens and what germinates and what doesn't. And I haven't, honestly, this year I haven't been keeping the records of what I'm planting and when I'm planting. I just haven't done it. It's not what I recommend. And it's definitely not the best way to go about growing food, especially if you want consistent large volume production like I do eventually. Want good, consistent, large volume production. But, you know, this year I'm just trying to grow stuff. This year I'm just doing what I can to try to offset food costs a little bit so that, you know, I'm not having to spend $100, $150, $200 at the grocery store buying food that half of it winds up going to waste, you know. So, yeah, so I'm just doing the dang best I can and doing, you know, growing what I can. And unfortunately for me this year, that means that I'm not taking very good records, just not keeping very good records. And so that's okay. That's okay. What grows will grow. What doesn't. I didn't buy, well, I take that back. I have bought new seeds this year. I've bought several new seeds. Hattie, come here. I've bought several new seeds, but I really haven't spent much on seeds. I bought some basil. I bought some lavender, which obviously you can't eat lavender, but it's a good plant to have in your garden. I bought some lavender, basil, sunflowers. And I do plan on buying some more basil, but everything else that I've started, I already had seeds in my collection. And as most of you know, if you watch any of the same channels that I do, seeds don't expire. They have a sell-by date, but they are still good for years and years. And especially if you follow M.I. Gardener, I think he had some 100-year-old seeds that he actually got to germinate. And so, I mean, seeds, they don't expire. So don't worry about it. If you've got seeds from last year or the year before or 2 years ago or even 5 years ago, throw them in some soil, throw them in some dirt, give them some love. Make sure you keep the soil a little bit moist. If you need to, go ahead and throw in some fertilizer. Once they start to germinate, you don't need to fertilize them before they germinate. You can put them into soil that has some nutrients in it. And then you don't really have to add any soil amendments or anything until you transplant them, or at least for the first couple of weeks. So just plant, just start seeds, just transplant, just whatever you need to do to grow your own food, just do it. I mean, you don't have anything to lose. You really don't, especially if you already have the seeds. You don't have anything to lose. So I will talk to you guys again very, very soon, within the week, definitely by this time next week. And I hope you have a wonderful week and know that I love you all. Have a great one. Bye.